Good morning. How's everybody doing? Still wandering reseller. Been hard at work most of the day. Got some listings done. Did some QA for the post listing tool and just plugging away. I started delisting items that I want to sell at the flea market. I want to get rid of all of my DVDs. I'm getting rid of some of the figurines. Some rocks that are nice rocks, but I'm trying to make the flea market more interesting with the batches of different types of items. So I'm hoping by the end of the month I'll be doing my first flea market. I did some investigating. I found where I decided to Saturdays to do Golden West, which I mentioned in one of my videos, and then Sundays will be at Westchester, right next to the warehouse, Temecula Creek. Yeah, flea market. It's busier on those days for those flea markets, so it's going to be nice. It'll give me a clear vision of what type of items I'll need to bring to both of those flea markets. So now I'm rearranging the front room and the outside patio area to make room for inventory that since I'm doing flea markets, I'm going to be starting Facebook Marketplace again. So I got bigger items at the warehouse that I can have people swing by if they want them. That's going to be storage for that area. Then I have some extra plans for another outside area to have a tarp covered, or maybe even a metal roof for so in theory I might be like storing some flea market items at the house, so I don't have to make this big run back and forth from the warehouse on Friday. I could just be prepping the week before, loading the car, and once I get a box truck I won't have to do that. It'll be a little easier. I know it sounds like I'm changing directions a lot, but in reselling you're always doing 2 to 3 different things regularly: rearranging, making more room, organizing, changing processes. And I'm going to be going through the end of the 25 trying to get rid of existing inventory before I start doing storage lockers. 26. When I started reselling, I had done about 25 lockers at a point where COVID started and we had to rethink everything, and I hadn't quite understood the storage locker business that well. And now studying it for a while, I know where storage locker resellers sell their items and how they sell them and why they use a box truck so they're not having to move something 5 times. And and it's one thing with storage lockers sellers, if you're not familiar with it, you're going to be moving items from one room to the next to store and try to figure out how to move it, and you're going to have a lot of learning curves to go through. So one of the biggest issues I had was space. So now I have a warehouse, and then I'll be able to separate, organize items coming in from storage lockers, and the items that are for flea market will load to the truck and then store at my home. Basically, if I don't sell it by Sunday, if it's after the dollar special at the end of the week, we'll probably donate it or throw it away and then buy new items. So it's going to be, when I get this ramped up, 1 to 2 lockers, 8 lockers a month. It's volume is going to be my game, and I considering doing other things like using offer whatnot, and you have to build your clientele, and since I have a tool that can list, as fast as I take pictures, the research is now done easier. Knowledge is great. If you know the items you're looking for, you're gonna, generate a lot of revenue. But it's the items I don't know about. So I'm gonna be really focused on striving to get this ramped up to the point where we're making a lot more than I'm spending. I have the goal. I like to double my income in 26. Get it back to where it was started at. I got sick where I couldn't work, so it was a good 2 years of lost income, and at the same time eBay was doing their revamp, and I wasn't able to push as hard as I'm going to push now. So I'm looking forward to these changes. Right now I'm heading to do my 4.5, 5 mile walk with Ed, my friend from church. Catch up. We were doing it 3 times a week, but this week I really messed up. So this will be my first walk of the week on Friday. I'll have, when I get back, I'll be working on rearranging the tables, bringing them back into the living room, making my workstation an L shape, so I can separate my my shipping items, and I don't have to do a lot of walking, so that's going to save me some time. And then I'm going to replace the plastic table next to my sitting area with one of my electric tables, and I'll be taking 3D photos there until we get the warehouse completely set up. And when I start buying, I'm going to be pushing some listings to my best friend's son. He's going to help me with some photos. So we're going to double the store. We're going to get it to 30,000 listings, and I'm looking forward to doing that with quality listings, not $2 DVDs. By the way, I'm removing all my DVDs from the store. I'm removing certain items that are going to be used to liquidate at the flea market. I want to think of it as, the DVDs are the lost leaders. It'll be like the $1 DVDs, or buy 3 for 2, or it'll be kind of of course it'll be the DVDs will be like the lost leaders. Just let them go as cheap as you can. Help with the space, managing space. I removed a whole bunch of different products from the store. I removed all the jewelry. They've been in the store for a couple years, so the good thing about that, I was able to look at the pricing I was trying to get. So now I know they're going to sell, I'll say $5 to $8 at the flea market, and if they don't sell by then, I'll lower it to $5 and bring it down. But I'm going to try to stay in my lane. Collectibles, volume, smalls on the eBay. Facebook will be appliances, larger items, things that make sense for someone to buy locally. I want to make sure that that is dialed in before I start buying lockers. That's going to be fun, buying lockers. I've already kind of been watching. I have ChatGPT sending me reminders every day on new lockers that are available. I'm not only looking to buy online, but I'll be wanting to do in-person auctions. You have a tendency to buy better, have chances to buy different things there in person. And the problem at the beginning, first year or so, I'll have the truck, and I really want to be careful where I buy and how far from the warehouse I buy from. So I have a 10-mile radius, which goes up Ortega Highway, Lake Elsinore, around Temecula, Marriott, Hot Springs. It's just little areas in that area where I can unload quickly, and if I have to, I can rent a U-Haul to do it all one trip. It won't be separating and sorting inside the storage lockers. I don't have 2 or 3 days to be, 70 miles away. I'll be picking up, loading, and unloading, staging in the warehouse to separate, and then I can come through anytime during the week and start separating into the 3 categories, or 4, really 5 if you think about it: eBay, local pickup, flea markets, recycle, trash. And I still got the batch of gold that I got doing the first 25, so I'll be separating the gold and the silver, and you'd be surprised. Whole purpose of doing this was we were watching gold shows, we were gonna go and find gold. It was in Arkansas. It was like, not Arkansas, it was in Australia. And I go, we can buy a storage locker and find gold, and bam, the first one. Girlfriend was like, I can't believe you. I'm like, yeah, this is fun. And then you can, and if you're a YouTuber, you can use the story that you create from this locker. You can discover or do research on the history of the person. Like in my case, I had the last locker I did kind of really spoiled everything. I found parole violations, and he was going to go back to prison for like 10 years, and so the guy rewired all the electronics in the storage lockers that fry or burn out or hurt somebody. I mean, every item was rewired, and some of them burned out, and one caught on fire, and one almost shocked me until I put 2 and 2 together, and I started being real careful. That was my last locker, and now, I'll be looking, when I'm looking at storage lockers, I'll be looking for boxes, and furniture will turn me off, because I know until I get a box truck, it's going to be hard to sell furniture. And so that's the goal. I want to get back to what made me fall in love with reselling. Well, there was 2 things that made me fall in love with reselling. I had my patent and trademark item, and I was making XYZ a month off of that, and then it really fell apart when it just never, I could never get the right items from China, and it just seemed like they were jerking me around. So I ended up losing some money on buying products, inventory, and I just had to stop because I was losing money. But then I figured out, hey, let's do something you really like. You like reselling, and you like storage lockers. So that's when I got into storage lockers. So I am in rearranging mode, separating products, getting ready for the flea market. I can't wait to take you guys along, show you my setup. Obviously, I'm gonna be learning a lot during the process, so I hope you like and subscribe and follow along, because it'll be definitely a journey. Once I get this process set up and I start cranking out storage lockers, it's all hit and miss. Then if you hit the right lockers, things change quickly for people, and sometimes they don't. And like I said, my goal someday is to get to Arkansas half the year. Maybe I do the first 6 months here doing storage lockers, and then maybe do I am getting to Arkansas. That's the goal, is to gotta make money to do this. So thanks for watching. I'm gonna do my walk, and until next time, have a great day, guys. Thank you.